Hello to Stinky Toilet. That's Billy. Somebody sing it. Hello to Calvin. Somebody sing you. Hello to Declan. Somebody sing it. Oh, I'm sorry, Declan is Hot Wheels race car. Somebody sing it. Hello to Lightning McQueen. That's Elijah. Somebody sing you. Hello to Evan. Evan, I don't have a silly name for you. You gotta tell me. Where's somebody sing it? Hello to Princess Eliza. That's Franny. So glad to see you. Hello to Henry. Henry, you don't have a silly name. So glad to see you. Hello to Izumi. That's Hikaru. So glad to see you. Hello to Super Penguin. That's Isabella. So glad to see you. Hello to Jelly Donut with a cat eating it. So glad to see you. Hello to Butterfly sliding on a rainbow. That's Cora. So glad to see you. Hello to Lincoln. Lincoln, no silly name. So glad to see you. Hello to David Bowie. That's Lewin. So glad to see you too. Hello to Team Umizoomi. That's Lucas. So glad to see you. Hello to Unicorn with a butterfly. That's Lucy. So glad to see you. Hello to Luna. So glad to see you. Hello to Mateo. Mateo, you have a silly name. So glad to see you. Hello to Unicorn. That's Mila. So glad to see you. Hello to Noodles McGee. That's Neva. So glad to see you. Hello to Thomas the Train. That's Noah. So glad to see you. Hello to another sticky toilet. That's Odysseus. So glad to see you. Hello to Shay. So glad to see you. Hello to Sophia. Sophia, you don't have a silly name yet. Sophia Franco. So glad to see you. Hello to Stella. So glad to see you. Hello to Birdie. So glad to see you. Hello to Dad. So glad to see you. Hello to Snowball. That's the other Sophia. So glad to see you. Hello to Jasper. So glad to see you. Hello to Pascal. We're so glad to see you. Hello to Ethan. So glad to see you. Hello to Mia. We're so glad to see you too. Hello to Eon. So glad to see you. Hello to Lydia. We're so glad to see you too. Hello to Cash. So glad to see you. Hello to Henry. Bernie's brother. So glad to see you. Hello to Izumi. So glad to see you. Hello to Elliot. So glad to see you. Hello to Shy. So glad to see you. Hello to Gabe. So glad to see you. Hello to Ariane. So glad to see you. Hello to Lady Lucy. So glad to see you. Hello to Baby Jerry. So glad to see you. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see All right, hopefully I got everybody on that one. I'm trying to include all the siblings that I know. Please let me know or let your parents know, and they'll text me or call me if I missed anybody. And also, don't forget about the silly names. You can change your silly names hopefully once a week, more than that if you need to. And I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you before we started very much. I miss you all very much, and I'm so glad you could all come. I have two books today that I'm going to read. No voting yet. I still haven't figured out how to vote. This one's called Dino Train. This one's called Princess and the Pig. I think I'm going to start out with Princess and the Pig. Adjust this a little bit. All right, here we go. There's the princess, pretty sure, with a book. And there's the pig. And the pig is dressed up like a person. All right, let's see. Princess and the Pig is written by, there's no title page. Okay, just have to go with the cover. It's written by Jonathan Emmett. Drawings done by Polly Bernatine. And it starts like this. Get this in the picture correctly. Not that long. The glasses again. Now you need my old person glasses now, guys. Can't see so good. Close up. Here we go. Not that long ago, in a kingdom not far from here, a farmer was traveling home from the market with a cartload of straw. The farmer was so poor that he didn't have a horse, and he had to pull his own cart by himself. In the back of the cart lay a tiny pink piglet. So there's a guy pulling a cart with wheels there with hay, and there's a little pig in there in the back. Nobody wanted to buy the piglet at the market, but the farmer had taken pity on it, so no one wanted to buy it. I guess he was trying to sell it. So, but he's like, oh, I'm going to keep you anyway. And he said, I'll call you Pigmella, he decided, as this seemed like a good name for a pig. So he likes his pig. A moment later, a wet, squelching noise came from the baby's diaper. Wait a minute, did I skip a page? Yes, I did. I hate when I do that. I'm sorry, guys. Skip the page, I'm sorry. It was a hot day, and the farmer stopped to rest in the shade of a great castle. Far above him, high on a balcony, a queen was inspecting her new baby daughter. The queen was so rich that she had 7 nannies and didn't have to look after her own child at all. So here's the queen looking at her baby. And wait, I guess those are all the helpers back there. The queen picked the lady out of her baby, and held her at arm's length. I'll call it Priscilla. She called it. I'll call it Priscilla, she decided, as this seemed like a good name for a princess. So she just named her baby. A moment later, a wet, squelching noise came from the baby's diaper, closely followed by an awful smell. The baby went poop, guys. Yuck, shrieked the queen, dropping the baby and running off to find the royal nanny. She's like, oh my gosh, I pooped. She left so quickly that she didn't notice that she had dropped the baby over the, wall of the castle there. Oh man. Over the edge of the balcony, and it's falling now. Oh, baby falling. But if you look at the picture, here's the castle, baby falling, and then way down there, I think that's the guy with the pig and the cart of hay. Down, 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 the baby went into the farmer's cart. Poosh, landed in the cart, and then sort of did like a, a catapult thing, and made the pig go up, 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 flew the piglet. And the piglet flew all the way over the wall on the balcony into the baby's cradle. They switched places on accident. It's a hard time getting this in. There we go. When the queen returned and found the piglet lying where the baby should have been, she let out an even louder shriek and fainted into the nanny's arms. Ah! My baby's a pig! She doesn't know what to do. The king thought he knew what had happened. A bad fairy has done this, he explained. There's the king, and he says it was a bad fairy. The fairy wasn't invited to the princess's christening, so she turned the baby into a piglet to get her revenge. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books. So he thinks it was a bad fairy. But was it a bad fairy? No. All right, what happens next? Meanwhile, oh man, I keep dropping this out of the picture, don't I? Meanwhile, the farmer had returned home and was surprised to discover a baby girl lying where the piglet should have been. So he finds the baby and he's like, what's going on? The farmer's wife thought she knew what had happened. So the wife looks kind of excited and she thinks she knows what happened. A good fairy has done this, she said. The fairy knew how poor and honest we are and how badly we wanted a child. So she turned the piglet into a baby. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books, she says. I've read it before. There's her book. And so, without a second thought, the baby became Pigmella, the farmer's daughter. There's the baby, playing with a doll, a chicken, a dog. And the piglet became Priscilla, the royal princess. And the piglet looks kind of like, don't know what to do with this pillow like this. It wasn't long before Pigmella is the kid now, was able to walk. She learned how to walk and get dressed by herself. And the farmer and his wife soon forgot that she had ever even been a pig. Things were not so easy for Priscilla, though. She is walking all over the royal table. Oh dear. Oh, these pictures are kind of small. There you go. She's walking all over the royal table. She runs away from the maids when they try to help her get dressed or something. But the king and queen never let anyone forget that she really was a princess, even though she looks like a pig running around with no clothes. As Pigmella grew older, she grew smarter. So now she's getting older. Her hair's getting long. She's getting bigger. She gets smarter. She's reading books and beautiful and was admired by everyone she met. So she's getting bigger and people like her. And as Priscilla grew older, she grew not so smart. Instead of reading books, she's eating the books, or eating the pages anyway. Not so beautiful. She's still a pig, but pigs can be beautiful. I don't know about that. And was avoided by everyone she met. They're like, oh my gosh, stay away from the messy, what do you call it? Princess that jumps up on tables and just starts eating like a dog. One day, the farmer's wife overheard some of the castle servants talking about the princess who had turned into a pig. It's just like what happened to Pigmilla, she told her husband, only the other way around. The farmer soon guessed what had happened. The princess and the pig must have swapped places somehow, he said. He explained it's the sort of thing that happens in books all the time. And this one's called The Prince and the Pauper. The poor farmer and his wife were very unhappy. They loved Pigmella, but they knew they must return her to her rightful home. So now Pigmella is like a teenager or something. So they've had her for a long time. And they realize, oh my gosh, she was not actually turned into a person by a fairy, but she actually got switched on accident that day. Pigmella was also unhappy. She loved the farmer and his wife and did not want to live with anyone else. So they're taking her back, I guess. But she doesn't like it. I don't see her in that cart though. I don't see. I see their wife anyway. But they were an honest family, so the next day they all went to the castle to see the king and the queen. And there they are, a big giant room, castle. The king and the queen listened to the farmer's story. There they are telling telling the king, yeah, I had this pig in a cart and I think it got switched with your baby a long time ago. But they didn't believe it. The queen says, what nonsense, cried the queen, that didn't happen. And the king laughed, ha ha ha, ridiculous. This girl may be smart and beautiful, but she does not look or speak like a real princess. So they're saying she doesn't look like one. She doesn't have the right clothes. Her hair's not fancy. And there's the pig looking at her like, look, see how fancy I am. The queen thought she knew what was happening. This is a trick, she declared. This girl is just a farmer's daughter pretending to be a princess so that she could marry a prince. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books, like this one, Puss in Boots. And so Pigmella returned home with the farmer and his wife. So she didn't end up being the princess because they didn't believe her. And where she married a young shepherd and lived happily ever after. She married this guy. Shepherd is someone that takes care of sheep. And
Never once did she wish that she'd been a princess. She is very happy living with the regular folks. And Priscilla also got married. The pig got married to a handsome prince, although he had to be talked into it. Priscilla was changed into a pig by a bad fairy, the king explained. But once you kiss her, the spell will be broken and she will turn back into a beautiful princess, added the queen. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books, they assured her. I'm sorry. And they said, like this book, The Frog and the Prince. But unfortunately for the prince, so here's the wedding. They're at a church. There's the pig getting ready to get married. Unfortunately for the prince, it's not the sort of thing that happens in this particular book because they kissed each other and she's still a pig. But there's a big heart, so they must, I don't know, be in love, I guess. Oh, look, there's a funny dog. And that is the end. I like that book. It's pretty cool. Now, doing good on time, we have another book that I like. It's called Dino Train. All Aboard the Dino Train. And this one is written by Deb Lund, drawings done by Howard Fine. Here's a big long neck dinosaur. Ooh, took the book out of page. Out of picture, didn't I? All right, here's a little, what do you call it? Introduction. The engineer is a Brachiosaurus. The brake operator is a Spinosaurus. Switch operator is Triceratops. The porter, that's the guy that carries luggage, is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The yard master is a Hadrosaurus. The conductor is a Stegosaurus. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of extra pages before we get started. Here's the beginning. They're loading up the dino train with coal and lumber, oil and grain. And high above the whistle's cord, ring dino shouts of all aboard. It's a rhyming book. Excuse me, it's a rhyming book. I love rhyming books. The dino stoker shovels coal. The flames are under his control. The dino boiler builds up steam. Soon pistons pump a rhythmic theme. So this is an old-fashioned steam train where you have to make a fire with coal, heats up water over here, you can't really see, that turns into steam. Farewell, the dino families cry. With cheers, the dinos wave goodbye. Adventures wait just down the track. We're off, they say, but we'll be back. So, my fingers kind of, they're there waving bye to their families. And they're so big they can't even fit inside the train. They got right on top. This one has a watch. I didn't know dinos had watches. All right, next page. It says, the engine coughs and dino chugs. The train moves like a line of slugs. So it starts out kind of slow. I think because they're so heavy. We haven't traveled very far. Let's dino push each rail car. So they're riding on top, but I think the engine's having a hard time pulling all the dinosaurs because they're heavy. Oops, this way. So they're going to get out or off, and help push. We think we can, they dinos say. Our dynamite will save the day. The smokestack coughs and dino soot. They sweat from the dino head to foot. Oh, they're sweating because they're pushing so hard. Push, 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 push. Oh my goodness, okay, I didn't skip a page. The hill's so steep. The hill's too steep for that much weight. So there's still too much weight on the train. And so they toss the dino freight. They throw off the trees and the luggage, the different things they're carrying on the train. Without a load, they quickly climb and reach the peak in dino time. So they're at the top there. It kind of looks like Big Thunder Mountain a little bit with like a deer or goat or something jumping around. A dark and narrow dino tunnel. Trains go in tunnels pretty often. Sucks and spits them through its funnel. Out the chute and down the slide. It's a roller coaster dino ride. They dino scream and dino squeal, yippee, and wave their dino arms with glee. When the car tips to the left or the right, they lean way out and hang on tight. So now they're going downhill, whoa, and they're all like, yay, and they're very excited. They're having fun, like a roller coaster. Oh no, the dino brakemen shout, the train won't stop, the trestle's out. So here's the brakeman guy, who I think he is a Spinosaurus. And if you look way over here, like far down the hill where they're going, there's a bridge there. Let me get it closer. See that bridge? It's broken, guys. The track is all broken and doesn't even go across anymore. Let's see, the trestle's out and the bridge is growing near. Their joy turns into dino fear. They're like, oh, I can't stop and there's no bridge. They clamber up and cling on top, unsure of how they'll dino stop. They dino duck and hide their eyes, but then they get a big surprise. So here they are going down the hill. Here's the train tracks going way over here, round, to the bridge that's broken. They dino rocket off the bridge. Here's the bridge now. You're looking from the water view. There's a bridge. There's a train going, wah, flying through the air. While train cars fly from ridge to ridge, the train goes on without a crash. We're dino flying, and then, so they say they make the jump. They go across, make the jump with no tracks, but they're falling off, right? These guys are falling. And then, splash! They dino groan. How can it be? We thought this trip was water-free. What made us want to dino roam? Let's shake this lake and head back home. So they all fell in the water, and the train made it. The train's still going by itself. Wait, where is that? By itself, I guess. You can't see it. Let me get up closer. See the train way back there? Still going, but they're not on it. And they want to go back home now because they got all wet and they didn't want to get wet, I guess. They pile aboard a handcar there. They pile aboard a handcar there. This is a handcar. Like you could push it with your arms, make it go with no engine. They seesaw back with dino flair. They dino pump instead of chug and make it home for one big hug. So they go back home to their parents, I suppose. Though dino tight in that embrace, they still find dino dreams to chase. So they're hugging their mom and dad, right? But they're still dreaming, I guess, about something else. We'll never take another train, they say. But how about a dino plane? Here's a plane. Then now they're dreaming of going on a plane. And that is the end. So I think I have that one dino plane that we can read another day. Let's see, how am I doing on time? Pretty good. Let's see, I think I have time for Hot Wheels and the Goodbye song. Also, I'm taking requests for songs. If you guys have any other songs you would like to hear, instead of Hot Wheels race car or something, we could do that. Just, again, let your parents know and they will tell me. All right. Okay, so, but for today, we'll do Hot Wheels and then the Goodbye song. List. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hot Wheels, race car. 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 When you're going around the turn, your wheels, they might get burned. When you're gone, straight away, gotta hit the gas. Hot Wheels, race car. 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 Yay, all right. All right, guys, goodbye song. And then I'll say goodbye to you, you know, with talking as well. But for right now, goodbye song. And I think I explained this last week, but I'm doing this in alphabetical order. If anybody's wondering why their name takes so long to get to. All right, here we go. Well, goodbye, Audrey. Goodbye, Audrey. Goodbye, Audrey. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Audrey. Goodbye, Audrey. Goodbye, Audrey. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Marinetta. Goodbye, Marinetta. Goodbye, Marinetta. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Billy. Goodbye, Billy. Goodbye, Billy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Calvin. Goodbye, Calvin. Goodbye, Calvin. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Declan. Goodbye, Declan. Goodbye, Declan. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Elijah. Goodbye, Elijah. Goodbye, Elijah. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Hammond. Goodbye, Hammond. Goodbye, Hammond. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Franny. Goodbye, Franny. Goodbye, Franny. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Henry. Goodbye, Henry. Goodbye, Henry. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Karu. Goodbye, Karu. Goodbye, Karu. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye. Oh my gosh, I'm lost. Goodbye, Isabella. Goodbye, Isabella. Goodbye, Isabella. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Josie. Goodbye, Josie. Goodbye, Josie. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Cora. Goodbye, Cora. Goodbye, Cora. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Lincoln. Goodbye, Lincoln. Goodbye, Lincoln. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Lewin. Goodbye, Lewin. Goodbye, Lewin. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, oh my God, Lucas. Goodbye, Lucas. Goodbye, Lucas. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Lucy. Goodbye, Lucy. Goodbye, Lucy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Luna. Goodbye, Luna. Goodbye, Luna. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Teo. Goodbye, Teo. Goodbye, Teo. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Nila. Goodbye, Nila. Goodbye, Nila. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Nila. Goodbye, Nila. Goodbye, Nila. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Noah. Goodbye, Noah. Goodbye, Noah. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Odysseus. Goodbye, Odysseus. Goodbye, Odysseus. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Shay. Goodbye, Shay. Goodbye, Shay. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Sophia. Goodbye, Sophia. Goodbye, Sophia. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Stella. Goodbye, Stella. Goodbye, Stella. We'll see you real soon.
real soon. Goodbye, birdie. Goodbye, birdie. Goodbye, birdie. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Sam. Goodbye, Sam. Goodbye, Sam. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Sophia Sarah. Goodbye, Sophia Sarah. Goodbye, Sophia Sarah. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Jasper. Goodbye, Jasper. Goodbye, Jasper. We'll see you real soon. Damn, my hands hurting. Goodbye, Pascal. Goodbye, Pascal. Goodbye, Pascal. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Ethan. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Mia. Goodbye, Mia. Goodbye, Mia. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Cash. Goodbye, Cash. Goodbye, Cash. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Eon. Goodbye, Eon. Goodbye, Eon. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Lydia. Goodbye, Lydia. Goodbye, Lydia. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Henry. Goodbye, Henry. Bernie's brother. Goodbye, Henry. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Zoomy. Goodbye, Zoomy. Goodbye, Zoomy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Gabe. Goodbye, Gabe. Goodbye, Gabe. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Elliot. Goodbye, Elliot. Goodbye, Elliot. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Shy. Goodbye, Shy. Goodbye, Shy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Auntie, Auntie. Goodbye, Auntie, Auntie. Goodbye, Auntie, Auntie. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, baby Lucy. Goodbye, baby Lucy. Goodbye, baby Lucy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, baby Noah. Goodbye, baby Noah. Goodbye, baby Noah. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, baby Jerry. Goodbye, baby Jerry. Goodbye, baby Jerry. We'll see you real soon. All right, how many minutes do I have left? Let's see. Oh, less than a minute. Okay, I gotta say bye, guys. I miss you all very, very much. I'm recording these for YouTube if you want to watch them again or you missed it. And